So I just got done eating lunch with James Nixon, and we were kind of discussing Psalms 23. Let me show you this first. We're gonna take a few seconds and just watch James eat pancakes. We came to the conclusion that we honor the Lord best by following in his footsteps, and we serve him the best by sitting at his feet. With the fam, I'm going to eat some dinner. It's my beautiful wife, the kids, or one kid, the one about to cry. There he goes. He's crying again. What do you have to say, babe? What's on your mind? You ain't got nothing to think, nothing to say? When you have a newborn and your wife tries to bounce and keep the newborn happy, you have to resort to feeding your wife. And this is what happens when your 3-year-old is zonked out in the middle of dinner with no nap. So, it has been a Psalms 23 day. And there's two things that come to mind when I think of Psalms 23. One is this.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize.
And maybe this.
4:30 in the morning, I'm milking cows. Jebediah feeds the chickens and Jacob plows.
But mostly, what I think about how David writes that though I walk through the deepest and darkest valleys, fear cannot conquer me, because he says, you, Lord, have already conquered me. So what that means is that a man or a woman who is already conquered by one thing cannot be conquered by another. So if I am conquered by the Lord, if I have submitted myself and I have died to the Lord and risen up with him, then there is nothing else that can conquer me. Birthday parties to go to today, so it should be interesting and filled with a bunch of kids. Bethany says I've got to do something to my hair before I leave the house, so I've only got one idea. There we go. So we are headed to party numero uno, and Bethany and I were talking this morning about spiritual integrity. We had a couple of friends that were at a meeting. One of my friends was leading this meeting, and they had a demon manifest, and it literally did the whole 7 Sons of Sceva thing, where it said, I know Jesus, and it looked at my friend that was leading the meeting, and he said, and I know you, and I hate you. And it looked around and said, but there are some of you that are here that I do not know. And Beth and I were just talking about that this morning, about the spiritual integrity of how our walk with Jesus in the public place should stem from the walk in our secret place meaning I have to have the same walk out in public that I do in my closet. And that's that. I can't walk out in public for the sake of myself, to pump myself up. And the Lord reminded me of the scriptures where the 70 went out and they came back and they were all happy that they were able to cast out demons, and the demons submitted to them, and they came back, and Jesus said, hey, don't rejoice in the fact that spirits submit to you. Rejoice that your name's written in the book of life. And what I believe that really means is this: if you would put it in another context or another translation or whatever you want to call it, don't be impressed that God works through you, but be impressed that God has reconciled you back to himself. So many times we can get to where it's like, man, the Lord really works through me. And a lot of times that comes out into conferences and meetings, and we get to the point of, look at me, see how the Lord moves through me. And I believe that the Lord is still saying to this generation, don't be so impressed that the Lord moves through you to touch other people's lives, but be more focused on your relationship with him, so that you know that your name is written in the book of life. Know that your relationship with him is more important than him working through you to touch somebody else. Isn't that what we talked about? Yeah. She brought a lot of that up. She's just really quiet, and she won't admit it, but she is a prophet, a prophetess, very discerning. She brings a lot of stuff up. She's a good wife.
Stop.
So we left party number 2. We were really late. We almost missed party number 2. So we are headed home now, and Grandma's coming to pick up our oldest son. And that's it.